What makes this pitching rotation so deep?
Oh, you said it first, the depth. You know, we have a lot of guys that are capable of doing, starting really. When you got guys like Slate Ciccone and Greg Release that are not in your weekend rotation and are fighting for the number 4 spot and possibly helping on the bullpen, that just adds a lot of depth that we have not had. You know, so just go from there just gives a lot of options. And early on in the year, it's important because we don't stretch our starters out too much. And we go to a lot of guys, give them a lot of opportunities. So roles will change, especially the first month. But we do have a lot of options to go to this year.
In terms of that weekend rotation, what have Evan and Chris have done the last year to improve? And then Brian Van Bell, not necessarily coming out of nowhere, but a JUCO transfer taking that Sunday spot.
Well, you know, Evan, just from what he did last year, he was going to be the Friday night starter unless, you know, he completely fell on his face. But he did not pitch this fall. He had hip surgery after the season last year, and he's pitched well so far all spring, and as has McMahon. But the surprise, like you said, was Van Bell. He came in a JUCO transfer from Broward Community College, and has been really probably our best guy. If you know, McHenry had not done what he's done last year, McMahon coming in with you know, with his abilities, you know, Van Bell has put up the best numbers, and he's earned that spot in the weekend rotation.
Gino said that JP is going to be the closer and get that first crack. He keeps talking about the mentality that he has as a freshman. What stands out to you about JP Gates?
Competitiveness, you know, and really, he's had some bad days like everybody has, and freshmen have, you know, have it more often than others. But to him, it's no big deal. And tomorrow's a new day, and he just has a way of just attacking hitters and even as a hitter, you know, he's doesn't look pretty doing it all the time. But he always figures out a way to do it, to swing the bat, and that's the way he is on the mound as well.
I guess the same type of question with Slade. Obviously a heralded freshman. Didn't get in that Sunday spot necessarily, still up for the midweek. What makes him stand out to you?
His stuff, just his God-given ability. You know, he's got a fastball. He runs it up to 97 at times. He's, you know, 6'5" and 230 pounds. He's what a pitcher's supposed to look like, I guess. But he just has great natural ability. He's got some work to do still, like most freshmen do. Good pitch ability, holding runners. He's a great athlete, so he does feel his position very well. But just, you know, those kids that come in out of high school that are so talented, they're not used to having base runners on base. And when they do, it doesn't really matter because they're going to strike the next couple of guys out. So the biggest thing with him as all freshmen is controlling the running game and all the little things that really make a difference in winning and losing games, and not just, you know, throwing hard or throwing strikes. Greg
Valise coming back from an injury-plagued season last year, obviously pitched well in the Cape out of the bullpen. Do you see him as that midweek starter potentially, or out of the bullpen?
He could be either one, you know, and that's the beauty of it. He could be our midweek starter. He could add more depth in the bullpen, along with, you know, guys like Kaiser and Mixon that we haven't really talked about yet. And it allows us to have matchup roles and not overuse guys as the season goes. So we're all fresh and strong at the end of the season.
How has he handled this? JD, I know he wouldn't be in the rotation this weekend. How has he handled the news?
Oh, everybody wants to be in the rotation, but at the same time, I think everyone knows the way we run our pitching staff, and our bullpen is very important. You know, we believe that the bullpen wins and loses games where your starters will give you a chance to win. Too many times you've seen a starter go 7-8 innings and have a great outing and lose 1-0. If you're up 1-0 in the 7th, 8th inning and your bullpen does not do their job, you're going to lose every time. So, you know, he does want to start, like as most guys, but for us, in our view as coaches, in our program in the past, the way we've run things, our bullpen is very, very important. Going back to Danny Graves, you know, when I played here, and Brian Garcia, and you know, Michael Newell, you name it, our best pitcher has seemed to be our closer at the end of the game, and that's a tribute to our success quite a bit.
With Fetterman, he got like 60 innings last year. Is that a number that you see he could do again? Is it high? Would you like more than that?
Well, last year he was kind of he had some starts under his belt as well as some relief appearances, so that I think that 60 innings was a little inflated because of the 4 or 5 starts. I'm not sure how many he made, but you know, Fetterman's another one that, you know, if you asked him, he probably would rather start, and he has the ability to start, but he also has the ability to be our setup guy or even our closer. You know, we're starting the season with Fetterman as our setup guy and Gates as our closer, but you know, there'll be some opportunities again early on where we're not going to overuse guys, so Fetterman will be called on to close games, and who knows? I mean, maybe those roles are flip-flopped at some point, maybe not. Hopefully not, means everyone's doing their job. But in our minds, we have 2 closers at the end of the game.
And with the competition that you speak on, so many options to be starting pitchers, do you go into the year, guys have to perform early, or will they give an ample opportunity, or you know what I mean? Do you you feel like you can just put someone else in there if it doesn't go well for certain
Well, they're
guys?
gonna have opportunities to lose their job, and we give them, you know, all fall and a month in the spring to earn it. We're not gonna take it away in a start or two, you know, unless it's this is really bad. But they're gonna have to lose their job. You know, they can give them ample time to earn it. They're gonna have the same amount of time to lose it. Now there is, you know, guys nipping at their heels, so that I think that's good. Competition is always great to push guys to continue to get better and not to kind of sit back and, okay, I've accomplished my goal of being a starter. Now we got to perform as a starter or as a closer, as a setup man, or whatever role you're given to start the season off.
You mentioned Mixon and Kaiser, a couple other JUCO kids. Obviously, pretty much different pitchers. One coming from a 3/4, maybe even sidearm, and Kaiser more over the top. What have you seen from their game since they've arrived?
Yeah, they're veterans. You know, we just see in most JUCO guys, you get what you get, kind of thing. You're not gonna, you know, really develop into something else. They are, you know, Kaiser's got a power sinking fastball and a split fingers and out pitch, and Kaiser relies more on his arm angle and deception from there, you know. But he's not like a Cooper Hammond, which was, you know, velocity was kind of, you know, upper 70s and low 80s. He's a harder throwing sidearmer up in the upper 80s. He'll touch 90, 91 sometimes at times. But again, they give you depth and they give you options, you know, at the end of the games, and you know, we can make changes quicker. You know, at times we've had to stick with guys. Not, you know, the big leagues where you have 12 guys that, and if someone's not doing the job, you call someone up from AAA or AA or make a trade or something. It's, you know, you have what you have. So we just have more options, and guys do their job, or they don't. The next man up.
You've been with Gino a long time, obviously, here, and what stands out about just what he's done since he's taken over as head coach?
Really hasn't changed many. You know, as a hitting coach and recruiting coordinator, he was, you know, always a fiery coach and a go-getter and a hard worker. You know, and he's done the same thing as a head coach. He hasn't really changed. You know, it's you know, you know the title of head coach. You know, he kind of was the hitters coach and head coach, and I was the pitchers head coach, and Coach Morris ran the team as a whole. You know, so it's he's doing the same thing now. He's kind of running the whole team, but he is involved with everything, and he expects everybody to work as hard as he does. It's a good thing.
Thank you. The alumni. This is the first time the coach has been a player here. Any difference? How the old players treated you guys?
I'm sorry?
How the old players have treated you guys? This is the first time that the coach here does not play here, has to play here.
Right. You know, it's. I guess he's had some teammates that came back, you know, but it's always been the same. This is the beautiful thing about Miami baseball. It's a family. You know, no matter who's coaching, whether it's Frazier or Morris or Gino, or, you know, it's still a family. When guys play here, it's like you're always a Cane, and for good or bad, you're always a Cane, no matter what happens for the rest of your life. So, and I think that's the one special thing that we have here. It's once a Cane, always a Cane.